on me. I'm a Taurus, that's me, so I don't even need to introduce myself, I think. But my name is Michelle Dale, I'm an entrepreneur, and I was first introduced to the law of attraction when I was about 2021. And a boyfriend of mine at the time, and I didn't realise this, but he purchased a car on my credit card for £2,500.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and that was a lot of money back then. I didn't have £2,500, and I didn't even really like using my credit cards. So basically, I was myself as to how I was going to pay this back. But I always remember at that time I was saying, I'll find a way, I will find a way, I will find the money, I will find the money. And now I realise that that was an affirmation. Because one day I was coming outside of a newsagent's, and it was basically a newspaper shop. And at the corner of my eye, on the ground, I saw a piece of paper. And it was dirty, and it had been trodden on, it was disgusting. But something made me home in on that little piece of paper, so I went over and I looked at it, and it happened to be a lottery ticket. And then one part of my brain is going, that's disgusting, don't touch it. And another part of my brain is going, pick that up. So I listened to this part of my brain, and I picked up this lottery ticket, and I took it back into the newsagents. And the lady ran it through the system. She said, oh, it's won. I said, how much is it? She said, £2,500.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Did you tell me?
And I said, can you check? I knew nothing about the law of attraction, beliefs, but I kind of thought to myself, that's a little bit more than a coincidence. And I did actually go and cash it in, and I paid off that credit card. So then from then I basically started looking into what this was all about, wondering whether I did that, because I kept telling myself I'll find the money. I literally found it. And what I want to share with you today is the story of how I've been using the law of attraction and beliefs to basically achieve my financial goals and many other goals in my life as well. I live on the beautiful island of Crete in Greece. I travel. I met my soulmate. I have 3 beautiful kids when I was supposed to not actually be able to have children. And I've achieved a lot of my financial goals. And I really wanted to put this to the test, because I'm kind of a proof and evidence kind of gal. So in 2011, I was earning about $19,000 a month. And for my line of work, that was pretty good. And I was training other people on how to do the business that I do and travel and earn that kind of money online. And I published it publicly, and if you go on virtualmissfriday.com/income, I published the invoices that I issued so everybody could see, and I could prove to people that I was earning that kind of money. And a few years passed, and I realized I was capped, because I kept earning that same amount of money. And then one day I decided, do you know what? I want to earn $30,000 a month. And I decided that I was going to apply the law of attraction, my belief system, to earning that money. And I want to share with you how I did that. So first of all, I'm going to write on here so you guys have got the stats. It's fine, I'm only going to write a few words, yeah. So the first thing is to reaffirm what our lovely astrologer over here said, is gratitude.
Pulling the words out of your mouth.
Okay. So the first thing is gratitude. I became very, very grateful for the money I was already able to earn. And the important thing about gratitude, and it is so important, is if you don't have gratitude, the rest of it is just rubbish. Because you will be in that constant feeling of lack, and you will be constantly feeling aware that you don't have what you want. So if I stayed in this constant feeling of I'm only earning 20 grand, then, and I'm not earning 30, then that's what the state I was in for the last few years, and I had to change it. So I decided I was going to be really grateful for the 20 grand, and I was going to kind of let go of the whole 30 grand thing, and just kind of accept that it's going to happen. So I did affirmations, and I did something called paraliminals. I don't know whether you've heard it, but basically paraliminals are when you do audios, and I did a lot of abundance paraliminals, where the sounds and the voices are going left and right and everywhere, and there's a guy called Paul Sheely who does those, which is very, very good if you're looking to find a space of gratitude. The next thing is my desire, Now I kind of already had that set. I wanted to earn 30k, never done 30k in a month. This was on the services side of my business. I had training in my business as well, and I keep that separate, but I really wanted to earn 30k in the services side. So I had the desire, I set my goal, I set the intention. Now the next thing, and this is probably the hardest for everybody, is expectation. Because this is where we become very non-committal. Because we're afraid we're not going to get what we want. So with my expectation, I thought to myself, what's the one thing that I could do that will make this an absolute must for me? And I'm quite prideful as a Taurian. And I thought to myself, okay, I've never made this amount of money before, but what's going to make it a must for me? What's going to make this essential? And I then, this was in the October that I decided I was going to do this, and I thought to myself, right, in the November, I'm going to make the 30k, and in January, I'm going to do a workshop on how I made the 30k. So I published it, I put it out there, I sold tickets to this workshop, so I thought to myself, well, if I don't make the 30k, I've got nothing to say at this workshop. And that was not an option for me, so it became a must. So everything that you do, if you want to fast track this law of attraction thing, you have to make it a must. You have to put yourself in that position where there is no other option other than for you to achieve that goal. So once I created the workshop and I sold some tickets, and I was hosting it in the January, I then set on my beliefs. And your expectations will shape your beliefs. So I simply believed that I was going to make this money, even though there was no additional business coming in, everything was ticking over as it normally would. So what happened in that month in November, I had 2 clients who I had not heard from for maybe 4 or 5 years. One of them was 2 or 3 years, one of them was 4 or 5 years. They had a lot of money that they owed me. Both of them that month came to me and said, I'd like to pay the money back. And I have not heard from them for, one of them for 4 or 5 years, one of them for 2 or 3 years. And pretty much when they came to me and said that was more than half of the financial goal that I needed to achieve on top of that. Then I decided that I was going to run a promotion for a service that I was going to offer the following year. And I thought to myself, right, you know, even though I'm going to offer it next year, I'm going to offer it now. And I'm going to see if anyone's going to take it. And the rest of the money came from there. So what happened is, instead of earning 30,000, I cleared 32,222.20. And you'll notice from the numbers thing, because I see a lot of numbers all the time. So that's what I made. And I'd never done it before. And I just did it from those 4 steps. And I had the expectation, and I had very much the belief that I was going to do it, because, you know, if I didn't, I would have made a complete ass of myself on that workshop. But that's basically how I was able to achieve my financial goal. And like I say, if you go on virtualmissfriday.com/income, you'll be able to see the proof and the evidence, because I'm an evidence gal. And that's basically how I did it. And I have been using the law of attraction to achieve financial goals, to achieve personal goals.
We have a question.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, so we think this is amazing. So what happens when you have, say, a negative thought come in during the day that causes self-doubt? How do you reaffirm your belief? What's your way?
I accept that negative thought, and then I basically suggest to myself that it's a negative thought and you shouldn't be listening to it. And then I turn it around and think about the positive thought.
Okay.
What's the opposing thought of that? Because a lot of us will play on what could go wrong. I do it myself still. You know, I'm not perfect at this. Something, when I don't make it a must, sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 years to manifest something, but I know I will manifest it. But 2 or 3 years is a long time because it's not a must for me. But when I make it a must, it can happen like that, so fast. So, for example, and I will get to you in a second, because I know I need to end this, but I was wanting to live on an island, overlooking the ocean, overlooking the mountains, right by the sea. All my life I wanted to live in a place like that. And I was manifesting it. I had this house on my vision board, and I would sit there staring at that house for 3 years, and all of a sudden one day I just said, I'm not living here anymore. And I got off my ass, and I went down and I started looking for properties. And even though I knew that I probably couldn't afford anything like that, and this one property came up within about 4 weeks that was perfect. It was better than the one on my vision board, it was better than I could have ever imagined, and it happened to be a lot cheaper than I expected it to be. It was the same price as what I was paying. It just happened to be tucked away, nobody really knew about it, and now I'm living in my dream home. But I didn't make it a must. When I sit there and look at my vision board, unless I actually go through the motions and take a lot of action, it really doesn't happen for me. But particularly in this process, in this exercise, I really wanted to prove to myself that this would work, but it only works when you've got all of these 4 elements happening. And it really does start with gratitude, because like I say, if you feel the lack, if you feel that you don't have what you want, and this is really hard, because we're all thinking to ourselves, we want this so bad, and then when we want this so bad, we get this kind of thing in our stomach that we haven't got it, and how are we going to get it, and we're trying to figure it all out. Don't worry about figuring it out. Did I realise that those people would have come back to me after all those years and just hand me over, a few £1,000s? No, I didn't. I never even conceived of it. And if I had been trying to control the outcome of how I was going to earn this money and go out looking for it, I didn't do anything different, by the way. Nothing. I did not go out looking for anything. It just came to me. Then that's basically what happens. If I was trying to control it, it wouldn't have happened, and I know that. So let go, live your life, be happy in the moment, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for your hands, grateful for your feet, everything. Set your goals, understand what you truly, truly want out of life, and move forward with the expectation, which will then shape your beliefs. And I've taken enough time, so thank you very much.